I'm bored. But how do I entertain myself? Well, since I'm a gamer, I can play video games, of course. But where do I start? Maybe I should start with some modern video games, like on Sony PlayStation 4. Or Microsoft Xbox One. Or one of my favorite classic video game consoles ever, Sega Genesis. When you use one of these, you put it in the video game console just like this and use one of these and it works. But no, I want to play something more classic this time, like oh yeah, NES, my first video game console ever. And it even has entertainment in its title, Nintendo Entertainment System.
The Nintendo Entertainment System, commonly abbreviated as NES, is an 8-bit home video game console that was developed and manufactured by Nintendo. It was initially released in Japan as the family computer on July 15, 1983, and was later released in New York City in 1985 and throughout the US as well as Europe during 1986 and 1987. In South Korea, it was known as the Hyundai Comboy and was distributed by SK Hynix, which then was known as Hyundai Electronics, the best-selling gaming console of its time. The NES helped revitalize the US video game industry following the video game crash of 1983. With the NES, Nintendo introduced a now standard business model of licensing third-party developers, authorizing them to produce and distribute titles for Nintendo's platform. And it was succeeded by the Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Oh, no doubts, NES had so many good video games, and here's my top 5 NES favorite games ever.
Super Mario Bros. Is a classic NES game, and it is also one of those cartridges that used to come with the gaming system, and it also happened to be my very first NES game. You play as an Italian plumber, his name is It's me, Mario, who puts his and his brother's life in danger just to save a freaking princess. And every time you get to the end of each stage, you get greeted by this guy who always tells you, "Sorry Mario, but the princess is in another castle."
Man, fuck that. Go out and meet other girls. By the way, I heard there's a new nightclub opened up last night across the street. I better go check it out.
World Championship Wrestling!
Oh yeah, I remember this game. I remember I had so much fun with this game. WCW World Championship is probably the best wrestling game on NES back in that time, or maybe even on any home gaming system. I'm really not a fan of WCW or any of that fake crap, but this game really got me into it.
Maybe I should become a wrestler. Fuck yeah! Shit.
Ninja Gaiden 3 is one of my favorite NES games. I remember my first time playing it and I was shocked by the graphic of the game. It's a game that started video game cutscenes in video games in general, kind of like a movie or at least a moving comic book pages with music and text. And it also happened that the copy of the game that I owned back then had a small magical trick in it, and that was every time you press the select button, you can refill your health bar. That's so cool, right? And the gameplay and the story in this game is just great. I'm not gonna put out any spoilers. If you wanna check this game out, go ahead and do it by yourself. but the game controls really smooth and really good. But there's one thing in this game that might affect your opinions about the game. The game is damn difficult.
But that's okay, because we all love ninjas, right? What the fuck? Not in my house. Get out of my house.
Super C, or Super Contra to be specific, is one of my favorite 2D side-scrolling shoot-'em-up NES game. Now many of you might ask why Super C and not the original Contra game. Well, my answer is because again this is the first Contra game I played on NES, and it got my attention right away and took a special place in my heart. I remember playing this game almost every day for the entire summer school break. Played it with friends, family, my brother, and all had so much fun. Oh, and a quick tip for you if you want to check this game out. Stay away from the damn laser gun and always try to get and keep the spray gun.
Hell yeah, Contra, spray gun. Pew pew pew, pew pew pew, pew pew pew.
No!
Okay. Can you show me, please?
And finally, my favorite NES game ever. And it's definitely gotta be Double Dragon 2. I love this game so much. I cannot say enough about this game. This game is just awesome. The controller is a little bit tricky and weird when you start playing it, but don't worry, you will get used to the game. Trust me on this. I recommend this game for everyone. So if you ever could get your hand on one of these games, give it a try. Play it by yourself, play with friends or other relatives and family. You will have tons of fun. I don't want to talk too much about the game because I want you to experience it. And last but not least, thank you very much for watching. Drop a like and subscribe if you haven't yet. And see you soon.